was a warm, sunny day in May. That day, myself and my biology class would be going on a field trip. That field trip would be whitewater rafting in the Potomac River in Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. We'd be gone the whole day, and I was really looking forward to it because I'd never been whitewater rafting before, and I heard it was a lot of fun. Chad, Steve, Frank, and Colin also happened to be in that class, so it made it even more exciting. Alright class, good morning to y'all. Like I said yesterday, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to head on out the door and catch the bus to the town, my teacher, Mr. She, said. Alright, sounds good, we all replied. Mr. She led the class out of the science lab and out towards where the buses were. We all hopped on.
Man, this gonna be lit as fuck,
said Steve. Yeah, I know. Never been whitewater rafting before, so it should be quite the experience, I replied.
Well, you know, Bert, Chad began. I may have to sit this one out. Water and the gains don't really mix well hand in hand. I'll watch from the shoreline. Man, you a bitch. You come with the rest of us, pussy,
said Steve.
What if I want to do that?
Well, maybe with Steve and Chad. Sounds like a great plan. Well, Frank had some other ideas, however.
Maybe we can hit the ice cream ship.
I knew exactly what Frank was talking about. He's talking about No-No's, which is the local ice cream joint in Harper's Ferry. They always seem to be closed, though, and the staff are always really grumpy. Chad, Frank, hate to break it to you, but I think it's probably required that you come with us as part of the class. Like, for a grade and everything. They're not going to let you just sit there unattended.
Oh, well, we'll figure it out when we get there, bros. But for now, let's just enjoy the scenery,
said Chad as he rested his arms behind his head. Chad was right. It was a beautiful day, and we were starting to pass by the mountains as we hopped on Route 340 west. 10 minutes later, and we were crossing the Potomac River into West Virginia. There was Harper's Ferry.
Looks like we've made it, bros. Time to pull a sly one, Mr. She, said Chad.
And next we parked. Mr. She parked the bus. Mr. She for some reason had his bus driving license, so yeah. So yeah, he parked the bus and we all stepped outside. Chad's decided to go and pull that sly one, as he claimed.
So, Mr. She, bro.
Chad, what is it? What could you possibly want this time? Mr. She replied.
Well, I've been bulking up for the upcoming summer camp for football camp, right?
Yes, Chad, that's all you fucking talk about.
My bad, bro. Well, about that, the water and gains aren't very friendly, so I was thinking, Frank, bro, and I sit this one out and keep supervisor role as well as, y'all whitewater raft. Gotta be safe after all.
Oh, no, Chad. You've been trying to do this shit way too many times, said Mr. She. First you try and get out of doing the nature hike at the beginning of the semester. Then you try and get out of doing the push-up contest for the data. And now you're trying to get out of this? Chad, man your ass up. You and Frank are both coming with us.
Okay, bro,
Chad said as he gulped. It was weird because last time I checked, it didn't really matter if you get wet. Like, you'd still have the gains. Didn't make any sense. Frank probably didn't really seem to care.
Mr. She,
said Frank. What could you possibly want?
Can we get ice cream after? No news.
Maybe, the teacher said.
Well, Mr. She, after this rigorous whitewater rafting expedition, we will be needing some dairy to refuel our bones and gains,
said Chad. Who gave you the word to say that, right, Chad? Mr. She replied. I'm not sure, but I guess I can treat the class to ice cream afterwards. I'm feeling nice today. And so the whole class is pleased to hear that. I will admit I was too. No-No's did serve very good ice cream, assuming they're open. But anyway, we went to the raft rental company and booked ourselves an expedition. How many? The worker said. 20, Mr. She replied. All right, y'all come with me. The rafts we'd be using could seat 4 or 5 people in each one. Luckily, the raft I happened to be in had all my friends. So it was very nice because, we're all bros. So yeah, we got on the river and we got to rafting. The entire class is having a great time and the sun was shining. The rapids were flowing. Just a great experience overall. Steve, though, starting to get a little cocky, as per usual.
Man, look at this. This ain't shit. Man, back when I used to live in the hood, my dad and I go flies out to Alaska and shit. We go sail on rivers hundreds of miles overnight,"
said Steve. Steve, what the fuck does living in the hood have to do with flying out to Alaska? I replied.
"Man, I'm just trying to flex, you know. You know what they say? Gotta flex on them haters,"
said Steve. Bro, Steve, you're always such a fucking... I don't even know what to call it, bro, said Colin. Okay, so we continued rafting down the river. Chad then began to get a little worried.
"Yo, chill up, bro. What's that down there?"
he said as he panically tried to direct us away from where the rapids were. Same with Frank.
"It's scary." "Shut your bitch ass up, best man. Everybody knows you was scared of the water." "Well, bro, I don't really blame Frankie on that one, because if I get wet, the Gaines will lose their summertime tan. And you know what they say, the more you have a tan, the more vitamin D you absorb, and the more vitamin D you absorb, the better the Gaines will appear for the photo shoots in Miami."
Now, Chad's statement was partially true, but the confusing part was he wasn't even getting any vitamin D in the first place. He had lathered his entire face up with sunscreen, and he also was not even shirtless like the rest of us. Like, he was wearing jeans, too. Chad, just forget it. Nothing you say makes any sense. Same with you, Frank. Y'all are weird as fuck, I said. So we continued rafting yet again. Break time, Mr. Shee announced, and so we pulled over at a riverbank for lunch. Mr. Shee pulled out a cooler, announcing sandwiches for everybody. He tossed us the sandwiches, and we all ate, except for Frank.
"Man, can you give me a little bit of this? Of course you know, best man. You ain't eating shit. That's why you fat bitch,"
said Steve. Yo, guys, be nice. It's a nice day out. We don't want to ruin the positive mood, said Colin. Colin was right. No need for arguing on such a beautiful day on the water. We ate our food and relaxed for a little bit before Mr. Shee said we could get back on the water. We had about 10 minutes before we could do that. I think we just wanted to chill for the time being, so I suggested that we go back and explore the woods a little bit.
"Yo, man, I think I found something lit,"
said Steve. Sure, Colin and I both said. The five of us then went into the woods a little bit. Mr. Shee said it was fine as long as we didn't get stuck or lost in the woods, and that we'd be back on the water in time. So, Chad, he decided to go and get back on the boat, just to chill a little bit before we leave. Anyway, so we all go into the woods for a little bit, and they weren't just woods. They had oaks and all the fucking trees. You get the point, though. We're in the woods until we heard like a random rustling sound from behind us.
"What it be, man? What the fuck it be?"
said Steve, sounding worried. I don't know, probably just an animal. Probably just leave it alone, I said.
"Oh, I agree," said
Chad, who apparently decided to join us in the woods after all.
"My pops told stories on the ranch in Texas. There'd always be rattlesnakes, and we don't want to bother them."
Chad was right. Something told me, though, that this rustling was more than just a rattlesnake. We were about to leave it alone when, apparently, it didn't want to be left alone.
"Oh, don't worry, boys. I'm just getting started,"
a scraggly voice said from the bushes. Oh no. Is that who I think it is? Said Colin. I think you might be right, I replied. Just then, a scraggly figure made its way out of the bushes. It was no one other than Herbert Ernie himself.
"Good day, lads. What brings you up here into the forest on this fine day?"
I could ask you the same thing, Herbert. What brings you out here? I replied.
I'm the park ranger. I'm inspecting the river to make sure our tourists and mows are behaving appropriately,
said Herbert. No, Herbert. You need to leave now or else I'm calling the cops. You're not allowed to be here.
Oh, that won't be necessary, boys. In fact, let me show you back to your boats.
How'd you know we were rafting? I said.
Lucky guess. Now, let's go.
We all reluctantly let Herbert lead us back to the boats as the time was encroaching back on us. We had to get back to the group, and in fact we saw that they were getting ready to take off. Guys, wait for us, Colin shouted.
Come on, man. Let's hurry up, y'all bitches,
said Steve. Sorry, you boys missed the cutoff. I gave you clear and explicit instructions, and you disobeyed them. Have fun on the riverbank, said Mr. Shee, ditching us there all by ourselves, with Herbert of all people. This is bad. Normally we could just get back on our raft and catch up. But here's the thing about Mr. Shee. He basically took our raft and tied it to his raft, meaning We didn't have a raft anymore. We really were stranded. It's kind of messed up, but yeah. Fuck, I said. Herbert, this is all your fault. It was true. If we didn't get distracted by Herbert, we would have been back just in time for Mr. Shi not to take off without us. Herbert, it's your fault, and now that we're alone, okay, you have to... Herbert, you always ruin shit, okay? I said.
Now that we're alone, boys, allow me to show you boys my goodies.
Herbert, no, seriously, Herbert, don't do this. Let's not do anything you might regret. But it's too late. Herbert was already reaching into his pocket and pulling out whatever his goodies were. Guys, run, I said. We did just that. We took off back into the woods, but it's too late. I felt a pellet thing land on my shoulder. I glanced at it and noticed that some of Herbert's goodies had landed on me. Oh shit, I said. Literally, Herbert was throwing his dookie at us. Luckily, it was condensed and bounced right off me, so yeah. Colin didn't get so fortunate, however, as it squirted on him a bit. Oh, gross, he said. I don't blame him. This is downright nasty to say the least. Anyway, we continued running in the woods until we eventually made it back to the town of Harper's Ferry, all while Herbert was chasing us. We heard Herbert yell from behind us. We made it to the town and happened to exit right where No-No's ice cream parlor was. I don't know if it was a coincidence or not, but the group had also just arrived back in time as well, and Mr. Shi was in the process of treating the class to ice cream.
We made it back, Mr. Teacher,
said Chad, out of breath. I don't blame him. We all were. You boys disobeyed my rules. No ice cream for you.
No ice cream,
said Frank as he began crying. Oh shit, that's not good. I went in my backpack and pulled out a Hershey's bar that I kept in case of any Frank emergencies, and I gave it to him, which seemed to do the trick.
Yay! Chocolate!
Frank squealed.
Best man be a fat ass again,
said Steve. We didn't have time to argue about Frank being fat, though, well, which he was, as Herbert had just appeared out of the woods. Oh no, how did you boys get him here? Mr. Shishi said with anger. We didn't bring him, he followed us. That's enough. I don't want to hear it. You boys are going straight to the principal's office when you get back to school.
Hello, class. Want to see my goodies?
Said Herbert. Herbert, stop! But it was too late. Herbert had reached into his backpack and pulled out a half-opened gallon of his own, I'm not going to say, you already know at this point. He then chucked it at the group and exploded everywhere. Chad, Steve, Frank, Colin, and I were able to get away in time, but the rest of the class, not so much, especially Mr. Shi. He got covered head to toe in that brown goo. So we went home and called it a day. We were all traumatized from what Herbert had done. Mr. Shi had gotten what he deserved for ditching us on the riverbank. And that concludes Whitewater rafting with the class.